Between now and Selection Sunday on March 13th, there are still tons of regular season college basketball action to go. Plus, all of the conference tournaments and Wager Talk and Sports Memo are announcing their March Madness Bonanza special, which includes the rest of college basketball regular season, conference tournaments, NCAA tournament through the national championship, and any plays released in the NIT or CBI tournaments. Sign up for this promotion now at your favorite handicappers homepage and get the rest of the college basketball season through the national championship on Monday, April 4th for just $177. That's under $5 a day for one of the best betting experience in sports. Act fast as the March Madness Bonanza special is only available for a limited time.
All right, guys, welcome in on a very happy Thursday. If you like madness, well, you've got it, and a whole lot of it early already here as college basketball conference tournaments underway and already epic collapses here. I'm talking to you, Michigan. So, yes, the madness. We love the month of March, and we love a few of these other games coming up later today. 3, in fact, we're going to break down for you, and we're going to do it with 3 of the best at WagerTalk.com. 3 guys absolutely scorching earth here when it comes to college hoops and others, as Ralph Michaels is here, Steve Merrill, 2 R's, 1 L, and Dave Koken in the house here, guys. Gentlemen, a very happy Thursday to you. And Ralph, a little bit of everything thus far here tournament-wise. We've seen dogs, we've seen collapses, we've seen everything in between. What do we got tonight from you here at WagerTalk.com?
Well, Joe, that sounds like a normal March Madness, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I do have a strong card today, a 7-1 week so far. I do have a 5% play. I have over 9 points of line value from where I made this 5% release. You can still get all 6 plays for $39, or again, still take advantage. $177, all of college basketball through the national championship.
Yeah, guys, it's still the best deal in town. Opportunities galore to partner up with these gentlemen here. And Steve Merrill knows all about that. He's got math figured out. He's got an abacus behind him. What's going on, Merrill? What do you got for us here tonight?
Well, math is very important in this industry, in this career. So definitely use some math. And this time of year, it's great because we get triple matchups, double or triple times playing each other. A lot of stats to look at. We have all these conference games the past couple of months. So power ratings are very strong now. As Ralph said, power ratings very important right now, as is line value and matchup analysis. And I've isolated what I think are the 2 strongest plays on the board for Thursday college basketball, 1 late afternoon and 1 nighttime game. And you can get them both right now. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Now, you can do a 2 for $29 special, right? You can do 1 day for $39, but the best deal is to get the next week, including today, for free. Because a week from now, when the NCAA tournament starts, it's $177 for college basketball. Right now, it's $177 for college basketball. So you're getting the next 7 days for free, including those 2 strong best bets right now. And nobody has won more money the past 2 years since I joined WagerTalk.com in college hoops. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com, 2 strong plays for Thursday.
All right, guys, opportunities galore here. And certainly not just college hoops, but how about the NHL, college basketball, golf? Nobody, and I mean nobody hotter than Dave Koken right now, guys, across all sports. And Dave, big card here tonight, both NHL, college basketball. What do you got in store for us at Wager Talk?
2 college baskets and 1 NHL. And I'm now, starting January 1st to today, I'm already up over more than 80 net units for 2022. So if you want my games, go get them. And if you don't, that's okay. And I'm just telling everybody in advance, you're not going to get a lot of in-depth from me today because I want to get done and go back and watch college basketball.
Boom! Then let's get it kicked off here. Big East is where we are going to start, as we're going to take a look here at the Seton Hall Pirates. They are going to be taking on UConn here, guys, and a game that should be, a little bit interesting for Seton Hall since they almost choked it away to Georgetown yesterday. -4 for UConn as an opening number. That 134.5, 9:30 Eastern time tip here tonight, Ralph. What do you think, Seton Hall? That was a bit of a taxing game, I would say, yesterday. What are we going to get from today, Ralph?
Joe, I often like going with the team that wins the first game and doesn't cover the second. You tend to get line value because people don't back that team. But there's a couple injury situations we need to bring up here. Hawkins and Poley for UConn. Hawkins in concussion protocol. Poley has a stomach bug. They're about number 6 and 7. So depth wouldn't be a concern today because it's their first game of the tournament. But I don't know what I'm getting with Providence. Point guard Richmond had missed a game. He only played 17 minutes yesterday. So if they don't have him against this UConn defense, I think they'll struggle. My reason for a lean on UConn is simply rebounding. You look at Providence. They were offensive on the offensive rebound. Georgetown beat him 21-9. Georgetown's about number 6 in the Big East. Is UConn the number 1 rebounding team in the Big East on the offensive boards? Slightly in UConn. Injuries on both sides makes this a question mark and keeps it off my board.
So we got a split. Each team winning at home during the regular season here. Merrill, what do you think we're going to get here tonight between these two teams?
Yeah, and the first loss for UConn was in overtime, of course, on the road. So a respectable loss, I guess you could say there. What jumps out to me from that game, though, was UConn shot 61%. 14 for 23 from three-point range and still lost the game. That's probably not a good sign, right? And that's because Seton Hall had an 18-point advantage from two-point range and a 9 from the line. So they were plus 27 from two-point range in the free throw line in that first meeting. And I think that's always, a little bit more of a consistency factor. We look at the rematch in which Connecticut did have that revenge motive at home. They played a lot better, shot just 4 from 18 from 3 and won that game. So kind of bizarro world. And they were actually plus 12 from 2. And they were plus 8, so they were plus 20 from the free throw line. So these two teams really kind of outplayed each other on their home court. Now we get the neutral court. A tough call for me. UConn has failed to cover 7 of their last 8 and 10 of their last 12. They've been maybe one of the biggest money burners in the country since the start of February. For that reason, though, I think maybe we get a little bit of an adjusted price now, a little bit shorter than it should be against a team that's won 6 straight in Seton Hall. And the fact that UConn has more rest, I'll lean towards the Huskies as a small favorite.
Yeah, it's been hard to trust them down the stretch there, Dave, but UConn, the favorite here. Do you like them in this spot?
I made it Connecticut 2.5. I think Connecticut's got a coaching edge with Hurley over Willard. But, look, the Big East tournament is the Big East tournament. Close games galore. And this one's probably going to go to the wire. These teams know each other well. No love lost. It's going to be intense. It's going to be physical. I think UConn pulls out a close win. If I had to bet the game, I'd take the points with Seton Hall.
All right, going to take the points with them. 9:30 tonight, guys. That one will tip off. We'll move on to the ACC, in which North Carolina gets to take on an old friend of theirs, Virginia, the Cavs here, who squeaked by Louisville last night in a real high-scoring affair. North Carolina opening up, laying 3.5 in this one with that 133.5 total at the open. Also 9:30. Boy, Steve, this is in your neck of the woods. Virginia could use another win here tonight against a team that's probably already in North Carolina. Do they get it?
Yeah, Virginia's a team I'd said early in the season was not nearly as good as past editions. A very young, inexperienced Virginia team. We saw them go to Harrisonburg and lose to James Madison outright, and Madison actually went on Virginia, I think, had a 17-1, or Madison had a 17-1 run in that game, only won by 3 still. But Virginia was really bad at times offensively in November and December. But I also thought they could become a play-on team in conference play because they were getting more experience under their belt. And down the stretch, for the most part, they did play well at a time there in early February. But then they lost 3 out of 4 before beating Louisville back-to-back regular season finale and that tournament game yesterday, 51-50 barn burner, as you referenced, Joe. North Carolina likes to play fast. We all know Virginia wants to play slow. In fact, out of 358 Division I teams, nobody had a slower average tempo this year than the Virginia Cavaliers. They've been near the bottom for several years now under Tony Bennett. Normally, I like to take these slow down half court teams against a team like North Carolina that wants to play fast. But unfortunately, the earlier meeting concerns me because they played once this season, and that slower pace did not bother UNC at home back on January 8th. In fact, it was the slowest paced game that North Carolina has played all season. So if you told me that going in, I would have really liked Virginia, right? And Virginia still lost by 16, despite the fact they got their preferred half-court slowdown style. North Carolina also was outshot from 2-point range. The difference, though, was from 3, and North Carolina had a substantial edge there. They were plus 15 points from the 3-point line and plus 5 from the free throw line. I'm not sure that repeats. The fact that Virginia was able to score down low in that game and slow it down, I think that's a good sign for them. And even though North Carolina won the first one by 16, I think Virginia's a bad matchup for them still. And I would lean towards the Cavaliers plus 4, even without the rest. Look, they're a slow-down half-court team. Having no rest doesn't bother a team like that as much as a fast-paced team.
Yeah, I mean, they crushed them the first go-around back in January, Dave. What, if anything, changes in this one, do you think?
Well, the situation changes, and the situation favors Virginia. Look, the back-to-back is no big deal. These guys are 19 and 20 years old. They're in great shape. Okay? I wasn't even in great shape, and I could go 48 hours with no problem back at that time. Now I can go like 4 minutes, and I need a rest. The situation is clearly favoring Virginia here. North Carolina is in the tournament, and they're off an enormous win. Coach K's last game at Duke, and they go in and get the win. This is a flat spot for North Carolina. I know it's the ACC tournament, but Virginia needs the game more. I think North Carolina is in a potential dead spot. Virginia should win this game.
Man, they chucked up a whole lot of threes and made them the first go-around, Ralph. That was pretty much the difference here. What do you think tonight we're going to get from North Carolina, Virginia?
Well, I think Steve mentioned Virginia yesterday without a three-point make. They went 0 of 6. 35 years in the ACC tournament. This was the first time that a team won a tournament game without making a three-point shot. So sort of historic. I'm going to lean with the over. I think 130 is a fair price. I think North Carolina is going to try to press the tempo. They scored 132 in the first game. You're Hubert Davis. You say, listen, guys, these guys are playing back-to-back. They want to play slow. Let's try to speed them up. I think they have the guard play good enough to do that. And you look at the front court edge. On paper, Virginia has the height to stop North Carolina. They just haven't. I think North Carolina pounds it inside. I'm going to lean over the 130.
All right, leaning over the total here tonight as Virginia, North Carolina go at it. Now we'll head over to the quarterfinals in the Mountain West. And boy, oh boy, two teams that know one another. San Diego State laying forward an opening number with that total. Wow, look at that, 113. Taking on Fresno State, 11:30 Eastern Time tip. So, Dave, two teams that know each other really well. What do we get this go around?
Well, San Diego State, on my numbers, should be about 7 in this game. So I think there's a little value there. And I think the matchup is favorable for the Aztecs because they're obviously a great defensive team, and Fresno State's offense sucks. It's just no good. They basically, if they can't get the big guy going and he gets in foul trouble on too frequent a basis, then they're in trouble to find any offense. I think San Diego State will have the crowd as well because they draw better. There'll be a lot of Aztec fans in the stands. I think San Diego State, look, do I think they run away with it? No, because of the style of game that's going to get played. But I think they'll do enough to get past the number in this game. I like San Diego State to win and cover against the offensively inept Fresno State Bulldogs.
Yeah, these aren't easy games to watch, Ralph, with Fresno State. That offense is tough here. But what do you think or anticipate we're going to get tonight from?
Well, it's tough to say you're going to lay 6 with San Diego State because their offense is, par at best. But I will say this. The Aztecs have shot 45% their last 5 games. So their offense in a 5-game win stretch has played as well as they have all season. But situationally, I have to back the Aztecs. Fresno State played last night. And while Dave said it's not the end all, you're playing back-to-back nights against a rested opponent. When you look at Fresno State, they're playing their 4th game in 8 days, a double overtime game against San Diego State, an overtime game against Wyoming, and an overtime game last night. Robinson, the big guy, has averaged 43 minutes per game, and now he's playing his 4th game in 8 days. That does take it out of you. The point guard, Hollandes, played over 40 minutes per game the last 3 games. You start to get fatigued mentally. We saw Fresno State turn the ball over 17 times against Wyoming, and while they turned the ball only 11 times against San Jose State is the worst turnover defense in the Mountain West. Guess what? San Diego State, not only the best in the conference, top 40 overall. And again, Robinson has had 26 points in the 2 games. Orlando Robinson will be playing in the NBA, but this is his worst matchup. Menza from San Diego State, Defensive Player of the Year, will contend for National Defensive Player of the Year. He shuts down Robinson. Fresno State fades in the second half with all that overtime action. San Diego State pulls away late and covers.
You shocked there, Steve, with the total opening up as low as it did. What neutral site, I guess, right? Team played to over close to 130 last time they played.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed, Joe, when you get these very low totals in the teens, it seems like they automatically get up a couple points, at least in recent weeks when I've been following it. And this one, as you said, opened 113. It's now up to 115.5, even 116. It's hard to make a case for the over. These are 2 slow-down, half-court defensive teams. The one case I would make for maybe the over is the fact that if fatigue comes into play, which I think it will with Fresno, with all these overtime games, I think fatigue hurts you a little bit more in defense, especially in the second half. San Diego State, not a great free throw shooting team, so it could get a little dicey down the stretch. They have to hit some free throws. But that's the only way I would play this one, like Dave and Ralph both said, is San Diego State minus the 6. Open 4, it's up to 6. So obviously the overtimes are being priced in a little bit, but I'm not sure you can accurately price having to play 3 straight overtime games and now play a no rest and your 5th in 11 days. So it sets up pretty well for San Diego State. They were the better team of the 2 regular season meetings, and the situational setup is even better here for the 3rd time around.
All right, good stuff there, guys. Mountain West should be a good one tonight, 11:30 Eastern, with San Diego State and Fresno State. But a ton of places to go on the board here tonight. Now let's check in and see if there's a game here these guys like just a little bit more than the rest. And Ralph, kick us off here. What game did you circle for us tonight?
Joe, I'm going to stay here in Vegas and go to T-Mobile for the Colorado-Oregon game. You look at Oregon, they finished the regular season 1-5. Colorado, on the flip side, finished 6-1. Oregon played yesterday. Yes, they got by Oregon State, but I don't think that's a change-all. I think they beat an in-state rival that they knew very well. I love this Colorado defense down the stretch. When I break down conference tournaments, I look at the last 3 weeks overall. I look at the last 5 weeks of away and neutral games. Colorado's offensive and defense efficiency far better than this Oregon team. And most importantly for Oregon, you have point guard Will Richardson, who started the first 29 games of the season. He's doubtful tonight. He missed the last 2 games. This is their best assist to ratio player. This is the person who leads them in 3-point shooting. And Oregon and the Pac-12 play Thursday and Saturdays. So you have 1 game with 1 day rest, 1 game with 5 days rest. This Oregon team really struggled on those 1-day rest games. They went 2-8 against the spread. I think the no rest does factor in here. Colorado wins this game and advances on.
All right, good stuff there. Like in Colorado, what are you thinking, Steve Merrill? Which one of these games you got circled for us?
Going to look at a free college basketball play here on the late night card on national TV for Thursday in just a moment. Quick reminder, the last 2 years since I joined WagerTalk.com, I'm number 1 in units won in college hoops, over 60 units won the past 2 seasons, number 1 ranked in college basketball. It continues this week and next week with the NCAA tournament starting. I've got 2 strong best bets, a late afternoon and a nighttime best bet for Thursday at my page, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Get those right now, 1 day for $39, or get everything for $177 through April 4th, the rest of the college basketball season. And keep in mind, 1 week from now, when the tournament starts next Thursday, the price is still $177. So get the next 7 days, including tonight on Thursday, for free right now with that March Madness special. No promo code needed. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Let's look at a late night special, 11:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network in the Mountain West. We're going to look at the San Diego State's Aztecs minus the 6 points in their third meeting against Fresno. They won the first two this season. It wasn't necessarily easy. They needed overtime about a week ago, but that overtime is part of the reason why I want to fade Fresno here. Not only are they coming off a no-rest overtime game last night against a bad San Jose State team, and keep in mind, they were a 13.5-point favorite against a team that was on a 1-17 run, and they needed overtime to win. So maybe the three overtimes, the double and the single, the 2 games before finished the regular season, took an effect last night because they barely beat a really bad team. Now they're facing a good team who is rested. And we look at the 2 regular season meetings. If Fresno has tired legs, which I think they will, I'm not too worried about them bombing a lot of threes, which is how you pull upsets. They're going to have to hit 2-point shots, and they didn't do that too well. In fact, in the first meeting this season, they made only 8 2-point field goals in the entire game against San Diego State. They lost that one by 17 on their home court. San Diego State was plus 12 from 2-point range in both meetings, plus 24 combined. I think they win this one and cover. San Diego State minus the 6 at 11:30 Eastern Thursday night on CBS Sports Network. Don't forget, if you want my strongest play tonight, get it for free in the next week for free with that March Madness special, $177 for everything through April. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
All right, love it. Dave, tell us which one of these games you circle.
Just a quick reminder, up over 80% bankroll gain since the first of the year. That's tremendous for early March. Got some stuff up tonight. Best bet for the show, talked about it earlier. North Carolina, they're playing next week. Doesn't matter what happens tonight. They're off just an incredibly big game win, beating Coach K in his home finale. I think it's a letdown spot. I'm going to take Virginia to knock off the Tar Heels.
Boom. Cavs getting it done. So are our friends at Gold Sheet. They've got themselves a play of the day they're looking at, and they're going to focus on Cal Riverside tonight. Love it. Taking on Hawaii. This is a great write-up, guys, and I would certainly encourage you to check it out. We do post them on our Twitter page at Wager Talk. Check it out. We post all the Gold Sheet plays of the day there, and of course, if you head over to goldsheet.com, you can check out other write-ups, great handicapping tools, all at your disposal at goldsheet.com. All right, tonight we are going to go to the Mountain West with the team that I think can actually take the whole damn conference down. Give me Colorado State laying the 3.5 against Utah State. I get the better shooting team. Utah State took care of a terrible Air Force team, but they don't do that well against winning teams over 500. I anticipate this one to be an easy victory for Colorado State. I'll lay the 3.5 with them here tonight against Utah State. All right, to recap, Ralph Michaels, he's looking Colorado tonight to get it done. Take him at the pick'em price. Why, Steve Merrill, San Diego State, lay the 6 against Fresno. Dave likes Virginia to get it done against North Carolina. Take the points. I'm going to be laying it with Colorado State and our friends from the Gold Sheet. Cal Riverside tonight against Hawaii. Lay the 2.5. And don't forget, guys, not only can you get those March Madness packages at WagerTalk.com, $177 right now, every play through the championship, but also those 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all-access packages, which in Dave's case cover every sport, whether it be NHL, whether it be golf, whether it be college hoops. They're a great deal. Also, if you head over to WagerTalk.com, visit Ralph Michaels, Dave Koken, Steve Merrill, guys. Partner up. This is a beautiful and very profitable time of year to do so. And on behalf of Ralph, Steve, and Dave, guys, we appreciate it. Hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. Come back and join us tomorrow. We'll get you ready for more March Madness over the weekend. Until then, best of luck with your plays, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Founded in 1957, the Gold Sheet is the country's longest-running sports betting newsletter and has been serving bettors for over 6 decades. Whether you are a lifelong subscriber, used to buy it at the newsstand, or perhaps have never seen the Gold Sheet, we want to share this amazing March Madness offer with you. Get 5 weeks of access to both the college basketball and NBA Gold Sheet newsletter for only $29. This will give you daily access to both the complete NBA and college basketball reports, which includes power ratings, strength of schedule, average line, against the spread records, and more. Get all of this for under $1 a day. It's not your dad's newsletter where games were written a week in advance, but rather up-to-date stats, scores, injuries, and all of the information to make you a March Madness expert. Head to goldsheet.com and get your March Madness on for only $29.